All right. Welcome back, everybody, to Altcoin Daily. My name's Aaron. Great to have you checking in today. I think this is going to be a pretty good video. Real quick, if you're new to the channel, here at Altcoin Daily, we bring you daily videos on everything altcoin, everything cryptocurrency. I think what kind of differentiates us from a lot of other crypto YouTubers is our videos are straightforward. They're easy to understand. So yeah, subscribing to our channel, not a bad idea to stay connected. Let's get into it. Today, what I want to talk to everybody about is a cryptocurrency platform, a blockchain platform called Smart Trip Platform. And basically, Smart Trip Platform, it's a blockchain-based platform that connects tourists directly to travel service providers. Basically, they're trying to solve a plethora of problems in the travel industry. And I can already tell, we're about a minute into this video, and I can already tell that I already know this video is probably going to be one of my longest videos to date. It's basically a deep dive of Smart Trip Platform, and actually they're still in their pre-ICO, so it's actually going to be an ICO review as well. But I'm American and I can't participate in their ICO or pre-ICO, so this is actually something I'm going to be probably taking out a position in once it hits the market later on. But I still want to get this on your radar. You guys know I don't really do that many ICO reviews. My personal philosophy is less is more, because there's a lot of ICOs don't make any money, but if you get a good one, and they are out there, you can 100x your money or possibly more. I mean, I'm not a financial advisor. These are just things that work for me. And another reason I wanted to do this video today is because something I really appreciate about you guys is actually a lot of you guys who comment on our videos and are in our Altcoin Daily community. You guys are, some of you, smarter than me, and you guys always put some things on my radar. Like for instance, the other day I did a video about John McAfee, and one of you guys commented. Actually, somebody's been commenting. Actually, a few of you have commented to me, "Hey, check out Smart Trip Platform. It actually has a lot of value." But one guy in particular, named Crypto Mark, has been actively trying to get this on my radar, and I finally checked it out, and I was like, "Damn, it has a lot of green flags in my opinion." So he recommended Tash token. That's what the actual token is called. It stands for Trip Cash token. He's been recommending this, so thank you, Mark. I finally checked it out, and it actually is pretty interesting. Basically, let's get into it right now. If you guys appreciate videos like this, give my video a like. That helps me grow as a channel. What we're going to be doing today is spending a little bit of time on their website. The majority of our time is going to be spent going over their white paper. I just got finished reading their white paper. Really good. It's actually a really good read. They break things down for the everyman, as well as they have information for maybe people who are more tech experts or more business experts than myself. It's 45 pages long, and we're going to be spending actually the majority of this video today actually reading. We're going to read together about 8 or 9 pages that I thought were pretty valuable, and you guys will be able to see what I saw. And then at the very end, they actually have, we're going to be getting into why blockchain is necessary for this type of company. And then at the very end, they actually have a demo. It's pretty cool. We can check out their demo. Very close to a working product. It's basically saying this is what our working product is going to look like. It's pretty cool. So I have a lot of things going for them for an ICO. Like I said, I'll probably take out a position once they hit the exchanges, but let's kind of find out a little bit more about them. If you wanted to check out on their website, check out this video, less than 1 minute. I thought it was okay. I can actually provide you with this information a lot easier. So the Smart Trip Platform, and before we begin, this is basically, again, what they're trying to do is they're trying to revolutionize the travel industry. Now, a lot of companies, a lot of crypto companies especially, throw this revolutionize thing around a lot. And yeah, I do believe that cryptocurrency and blockchain in general, they're going to, really change the paradigm of basically our culture and also certain industries. Like, this is a shift in technology that the world has never seen before. And when they kind of say that they're going to really, revolutionize the travel industry, when I read through their white paper and they were presenting, all these problems that they're going to fix, I started to believe them. So I actually think they're really on the ball. Let's get into it. The Smart Trip platform will offer 1, great prices on travel services, 2, an A to Z trip planning tool, and 3, a dynamic community of travelers and tourist industry professionals. So it's a whole marketplace, a whole, what do you call it, like a community of where people have a one-stop shop ecosystem was what I was trying to say. And who is this for? It's both for travelers and for travel service providers. For travelers, apart from booking tickets, rooms, and cars, the Smart Trip platform allows users to 1, plan entire trips, make bookings, and find travel buddies, 2, directly contact the best guides and drivers, and 3, participate in a living and welcoming travelers community with its own knowledge base and experienced travel gurus. And you might be saying, hey, I can already pretty much do this with stuff like TripAdvisor or Expedia or something, but we'll get into it. It is actually a little bit different. Don't write it off just yet. And also they're targeted towards the travel service providers, which apart from the typically offered efficiency and convenience, Smart Trip platform allows service providers to 1, receive a continuous flow of bona fide customers from across the globe, 2, use a new channel to reach out to audience and get feedback, and 3, conduct your business in a safe economic environment. Did you guys hear those sirens? That's LA. Yes. Well, what was I? Anyway, let's continue. So how does TripCash work? TripCash, or Tash, is, like I said, that's the actual token that's going to be used in this ecosystem. TripCash is the official ERC20 compliant utility token of the Smart Trip platform and will be used to book travel services on the platform. Users will be able to store both TripCash and a wide range of cryptocurrencies in their individual universal crypto wallet, instantly exchanging between them. In the second stage of this project, debit cards or TripCash cards will be introduced, making it possible to use TripCash to make online and offline purchases. That is something that I'm really intrigued by. I can totally imagine carrying around a little universal wallet or debit card and being able to pay with not just TripCash but all kinds of cryptocurrencies. The Smart Trip platform is a product that is easy to explain, easy to understand, and easy to market, and so is TripCash. And with that being said, let's get into their white paper, which is where I want to spend the majority of our time here today. And like I said, yes, this video is going to be long, but as we go through some of the most important parts of this white paper, I want you guys to actually imagine using this, actually traveling. I just, traveled for a destination wedding, and so I just kind of like saw some of these problems that they were talking about and actually see value in this company. And I think you're going to see it too, but just bear with me here because we're going to be, actually reading pages of this white paper. So, welcome to the Smart Trip platform. Let's talk about the travel business in general first. The travel business has been showing amazing growth in the past years, far outstripping the growth of the global GDP as a whole. Wow. And will continue to do so in the next decade. So what they're presenting here is that travel we're becoming a more global economy. People are traveling more and more. The use of the most innovative digital technologies has been one of the primary movers of this growth, creating such online travel giants as Airbnb and TripAdvisor. Yeah. However, even these seemingly innovative projects may soon become outdated with the arrival of blockchain technology. Use of tokens, decentralized structures, and smart contracts will soon define the new face of the travel industry. So like I said, we talk about how blockchain is going to change different sectors. And what they're saying right here is, we're going to use blockchain to revolutionize the travel industry, the travel sector, and they actually back up, this claim. The Smart Trip platform will provide its users with all the advantages of the blockchain technology: instant and secure payments, transparency of transactions, safe decentralized data storage, a well-developed conflict resolution system, and infinite opportunities for expansion. So that was just part of their little introduction. Like I said, I picked out some of the best parts of their white paper and I would be sharing it with you guys. Like the video, let's continue. Let's start defining the problem. We are going to spend a lot of time really defining the problem. If we don't know that, because like I said, there's websites out there already like TripAdvisor or Expedia. You may be thinking, hey, it's already fine. But let's define the problem and you'll be able to see what they're really trying to do. Introducing the issue. Global travel industry has grown by 3.1% in 2016, faster than the global economy as a whole. Moreover, it has been the 6th year in a row that the travel industry has overperformed the global GDP. That's interesting. Experts agree that travel will remain one of the movers of the world economy in the next decade. That makes sense to me, and if you wanted more details, you can check out their white paper, check out Chapter 3, Commercialization. The fast growth experienced by the travel industry across the globe is not without its pains. A limited number of countries get a lion's share of international visitors, and major cities and the most famous sites attract a vast majority of tourists at the expense of less promoted or accessible regions. We can see this picture right here. Great Wall of China, one of the most visited, global tourist attractions, shoulder to shoulder. And if you've traveled, even just a few places, I'm not some global world traveler, but I've been to a few places, and yeah, it seems like in some places, it's just everybody and their mother is there. In such less visited countries and cities, small-scale travel service providers, cozy guest houses, great local restaurants, talented tour guides suffer financially, having no money or tools to attract tourists and compete with the major chains. As a result, most tourists tend to congregate in the same place, which leads to higher prices and the feeling of a lack of authenticity. That resonates with me. In other words, the fact that the number of tourists grows does not mean that the overall experience of each tourist becomes better. They're making sense. Continuing, problems faced by tourists. So let's talk about problems faced by tourists, and then we're going to be talking about problems faced with the tourist agencies. And like I said, this is never going to blow up if both the tourists and the travel providers don't both benefit. That's really the only way it's going to blow up, and I actually think they present a case for why that is the case. So, who among us does not look forward to every upcoming trip, hoping that it will prove to be unforgettable, authentic, and overall amazing? I know I do. And yet, quite often, the tourists' hopes are dashed. They're disappointed with their accommodations and food. They get ripped off by tour guides and taxi drivers, and eventually miss many of the key sites. In the end, they return home and lament that the trip did not meet their expectations. A lot of things can go wrong and spoil a vacation. Below is a breakdown of the main issues that an independent tourist faces both before leaving home and on the road. 1.2.1 Difficulties preparing for the trip. Number 1, actually researching the trip. The way things are now, a traveler has to spend dozens of hours to plan a truly successful trip. And we're not just talking about, driving to your nearest major city. This is, not only focused on tourism in your country, but also, as they pointed out, global tourism, which is a growing industry. So you have to use a lot of resources like guidebooks, Wiki Travel, TripAdvisor, Bookings.com, Hostelworld, Airbnb, etc. Most people simply don't have enough time or experience to sift through such amounts of information. I agree with that. And actually something pretty cool that I liked about this white paper is after they kind of present a theoretical problem or a theoretical issue, then they give throughout the white paper, they give a real life example, which we'll be reading. These are actual real life scenarios, real life examples of the problem they just presented. So, African wildlife safari. Millions of tourists dream of seeing the Big Five in Savannah, but most consider it outside their budget. Indeed, organized safari companies charge $300+ per person per day, even for budgeted tours. Meanwhile, in places like Uganda, for example, one can rent a self-drive Jeep for $40 a day, sleep in a campsite paying just $10, and enter all national parks freely and without any travel agency for just $20. Therefore, it is absolutely possible to see lions, elephants, and hippos for under $70 a day. If only independent travelers had easy access to information and service providers, or could go together with a more experienced traveler who would take care of the organization, safaris could become affordable to a much wider public. So yeah, I mean, this is just one example, but how often are you like, you can't believe how much you're spending on vacation. You always think, man, if I lived here, I could probably do this for a lot cheaper. Continuing, communication. While great local, and these are all problems travelers face, we'll just go through them. While great local service providers exist in most places, guides, guest houses, drivers, they can be difficult to find online. Many don't have websites or contact by email or phone. Language. Many valuable resources, reviews, and explanations found online are not written in English, or whatever your native language is, but rather in French, Chinese, etc. Besides, many service providers cannot write in English, further complicating communication. Yeah, that's true. Booking. Even while tourists find a great guest house or tour guide, making a booking can turn out to be difficult, especially when it involves a bank transfer or a Western Union payment with high commissions. Ain't that the truth? Especially when, I mean, this is a problem a lot of crypto companies are trying to solve in general. Like, some of the best systems right now, you're paying huge fees if you're trying to, transfer money through Western Union or your bank or whatever. It takes so much time. It has high fees. That's, with cryptocurrency and blockchain, this is going to be solved. And then also comfort zone. Some tourists end up feeling unsafe even when there is no real danger. When faced with such difficulties, most independent travelers choose one of two options. Option 1. They leave unprepared. Or option 2, in despair, book an expensive, organized trip with an agency that will settle all bookings and tickets and do all this stuff for them. Those who decide to do the trip alone often get frustrated with research. They book the first hotel they find, they get, the first tickets they find, and excursions that they are offered, and end up being disappointed. They often miss the best attractions because they really don't know what's the best or what actually is a good price for this stuff. Those who go with a travel agency frequently feel that their trip lacks authenticity. They get annoyed by being in large groups of people the whole time and disappointed with the quality of guides and service offered, and generally feeling like they have not received their money's worth. Continuing, they have difficulty on the road. Finding service providers. For tourists who are already on the road, the question of where to sleep and eat and how to get to a particular attraction or how to choose a tour guide can be frustrating. Often they end up booking the first service that they're offered at their hostel or bus station, or something that the concierge recommends or whatever, or something that's on the top of the internet search page. I mean, you guys know that to be the case. You just check with your hotel and whatever brochure they have. You say, hey, where is the best place to eat around here? And they recommend, whatever restaurant they're getting a kickback from. Going on. Language barriers. In those regions where very few people can speak English, tourists often feel confused and unable to communicate properly. When booking various services, they have to turn to those few, usually expensive, providers that can communicate in English. The situation is exacerbated when tourists have to deal with local authorities or police and stuff like that. For sure. No compensation for bad service. The combined technical and communication difficulties when choosing services often lead to disappointment. Guest houses turn out to be dirty and cold. You don't get what's advertised. Tour guides barely speak English. Booked vehicles arrive late and meals result in food poisoning, or even just not what you expected. Maybe you're a vegetarian and it turns out not to be vegetarian. However, there is usually no way to demand a refund or compensation and nowhere to file a complaint. You just have to live with it. Wow, I bet you guys were thinking at the beginning of this, hey, travel, it's really not a lot of problems. Nothing can be fixed when it comes to travel. It's already, TripAdvisor is already the best thing out there. Well, what Smart Trip platform is going to do is try and solve all these problems, and we'll get into that. Continuing problems with a traveler, money and commissions. Money changing fees and commissions charged by ATMs can be high. For example, most ATMs in Peru charge a $5 fee on every withdrawal. And very often tourists find that local ATMs do not even take their international cards. In China, for instance, the majority of ATMs accept only Chinese cards. In a lot of countries, the economy is based on cash, and having to pay for tours, treks, and hotels in cash, it becomes a nuisance. I mean, listen, this is all there. I mean, this is logic. This is something that we know to be the case. It's always been the case. Your parents probably warn you of this stuff. Paying more. Unfortunately, people in many poorer countries view foreign tourists as walking wallets and use their gullibility to charge double and triple for their services. That's common knowledge. The simple lack of information on fair prices makes tourists fall prey to dishonest touts. The situation is made worse by language barriers. Tourists are often unable to negotiate the price. A particular widespread practice is to ensure tourists that the places they want to visit are so hard to get to that an expensive private transfer is needed. I mean, come on, this is something that, you know, family warns you about. I remember when I went to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, for spring break back in college. Some of the older guys who were with us, they're like, hey, when you're trying to come home for the night, the cab drivers are going to try and charge you way more, and they only speak Mexican. So you end up paying them like triple, quadruple what you would pay a cab driver, because you have to get home. And they taught us, like, hold the $10 in your hand and be like, this is all I have. This is all I have. Take it or leave it. And somebody will take it. Anyway, continuing. Cultural etiquette, obviously you don't know about. Safety can be an issue. Missed attractions. Having wasted a lot of time and money on organizing transfers and tours, travelers often miss some of the best attractions simply because they are not promoted enough and there is very little information available in English on how to get there. The same can be said about many great local restaurants, beaches, etc. Real life example. In China, while most U.S. tourists are convinced that the highest natural rock arches are located in the States, people all across the United States travel to like the Grand Canyon or wherever because they want to see the U.S.'s like huge natural arches. However, none of them can rival the magnificent 1,200-meter high Shipton's Arch in western China, less than 2 hours from Kashgar. This is unique. This is a unique monument. It's very easy and cheap to get to by car. It would be a great way to really see China, and yet nobody goes there, in spite of its tremendous tourism potential. The reason? It's not listed on Lonely Planet or not listed on Expedia or WikiTravel or anything like that. One and the same problem lies at the root of all these issues and many others. What is the problem? There is no single tool that would allow tourism to build a perfect trip. And as a result of insufficient preparation, lack of information, and difficulty finding and contacting the best service providers, tourists end up getting very low value for their money. Wow. So I just listed, like I said, this is a deep dive today. Some of my videos are 10 minutes long. Sometimes I really, listen, you don't have to continue watching if you don't want to, but when this hits an exchange, I'm probably going to take out a position. Obviously, you guys are making your own issues. We're going to talk about next the issues that the travel service providers are facing because, like I said, Smart Trip Platform is not only, it's a better solution for travelers, but also travel service providers. After that, we're going to talk about why blockchain is necessary. And then after that, we're actually going to visit their demo on their website. This ICO has a lot of things going for it, as I said. So, issues faced by local travel service providers. Faced with competition from large hotel networks and major travel agencies, many small providers of quality travel services, owners of guest houses, jeeps and boats, trekking guides, local city guides, etc., do not manage to attract nearly as much business as they would like. Below is a short breakdown of issues faced by travel businesses. Number 1, competition with large firms. Tourists flock to better known, aggressively marketed competitors, often simply because they have websites in English and a good marketing budget for banners and search engine optimization, or are mentioned in Lonely Planet or TripAdvisor, or have paid a large fee to be at the top of the list on bookings.com. As a result, large chains and travel agencies get larger, while small family businesses struggle. Real life example. In El Mirador, Guatemala, for those tourists who want to discover the mysterious roots of the ancient Maya, the gigantic pyramids of El Mirador and Nakbi, deep in the jungle of Guatemala, it's a real magnet. However, tourism in the area is almost monopolized by a cooperative of guides and porters known as Cooperativa, which charges high fees and often provides guides who are mediocre, unprofessional, and even rude. I mean, these guys have a monopoly. An alternative family enterprise exists with much better prices and guides, but almost unknown to tourists due to the aggressive marketing conducted by Cooperativa, and the fact that smaller companies do not have a website in English. So, I mean, this was a problem. They're like, when you travel, it kind of seems like these tourist things you're going to, it doesn't seem that authentic since, you know, it's so crowded. Next, high fees. Hotels pay 15 to 20% commissions on every booking on bookings.com, sometimes over 30% if they want to be at the top of the recommended properties list, and 12% with hostels, with Hostel World. I mean, we know this. I mean, people get kickbacks. Really, who's paying for this is the customer because they raise the prices to make up for the, you know, the commissions. Difficulty accepting payments. In many parts of the world, there is still no efficient system of accepting bookings and payments by card or PayPal. Very often, providers of such local services as treks, jungle expeditions, car rentals, etc., have to ask for prepayment by bank transfer or Western Union payment, which is inconvenient for many tourists who end up choosing a more expensive agency that accepts their cards. And once at a destination, tourists are often disappointed to find that they can only pay for their accommodations and tours in cash. Next, low number of tourists outside the major travel hubs and cities. Tourists tend to congregate in a limited number of famous cities, attractions, and national parks. Makes things seem less authentic. Simply because organized trips take them there, and such places occupy the top of what to see lists. I don't know about you, but the only way I get my information when I travel is when I Google, hey, top, tourist attractions here. If you're visiting, top things to do, and then you go there and everybody's there. Next, no advertising budget. Small hotels, guides, excursion agencies do not have either the money or the expertise needed to promote their business, make a good website in English, hire an SEO specialist, buy advertising space online, etc. Their services may be top quality, but travelers don't know about them. Well, wouldn't it be nice if there was a trustless platform backed up on the blockchain that would be able to make this happen? That's why we're reading this. And, you know, they also have things like language barriers, absence of a unified resource. All the issues described above could be resolved if only travel service providers had a better channel for promoting and selling their services to tourists directly. A single resource that could ensure good communication, a straightforward advertising process, secure payments, low fees, and reliable information would signify an enormous step towards the creation of a new, efficient, and innovative model of travel business. The next chapter describes in detail how Smart Trip platform is intended to do just that. Whoops. Okay. So, introducing the Smart Trip platform. Listen, guys, I know we're almost 30 minutes into this. If you guys like videos like this, where I take a little bit more time to really, bring this information to you, give the video a like, so I know that maybe I should do this again. The Smart Trip platform ecosystem. The Smart Trip platform is designed as the ultimate solution to the issues plaguing both travelers and the travel service providers. It is an ecosystem that allows all users to connect directly, plan trips efficiently and quickly, save money, and participate in a dynamic community. Smart Trip platform will not only provide an extremely wide range of services, from boat rentals to safaris, but will also act as a true knowledge base. It is a brand new model of travel, minimizing time spent on research and maximizing the authenticity of the experience. What's more, the platform will serve as a fully developed social network where users can post photos, videos, and blogs. In this section, we present an overview of the platform architecture and main functions. One of the great advantages of blockchain technology is that new functions can be easily added using the existing or slightly modified smart contracts while preserving the transparency and full security of the transactions. The platform can develop as a mostly decentralized ecosystem, providing its users with a great opportunity to participate in a dynamic community become recognized experts, and realize their professional and personal goals. The following subsections describe the main features of the platform available to owners of private and business accounts. Both types of accounts will provide many similar functions that are divided for taxation purposes and to simplify the calculations of fees and commissions. Owners of business accounts will have greater access to advertising tools on the platform and will be able to obtain various extra services in exchange for an optional monthly subscription fee. Further, business accounts will face certain limitations on contacting private users in order to avoid spam. All internal payments with the platform will be carried out using TripCash or Tash, the official platform's tokens. Users will be able to store both TripCash and a wide range of cryptocurrencies in their individual platform's wallets, instantly exchanging between various cryptocurrencies. Here's a little diagram basically showing, it's really just a diagram of, if you're your personal account or a business, you'll be using the TripCash, the internal currency for sales and purchases of services, products and ads, as well as rewards and fees. They'll offer all this stuff. If you want to pause it right here and check out this yourself, we're just going to move on. But basically, if you were to invest in the ICO or take out a position, buy some TripCash when it hits the market, basically you'd be hoping this company becomes successful, because as TripCash circulates throughout their marketplace, then it will go up in value. And let me just say this right now. I'm just a normal guy. I'm not a financial advisor. These are the kind of things that jumped out to me, but obviously you have to do your own research. I'm not giving you advice. Planning trips using the Smart Trip platform. The Smart Trip platform will allow users to plan a trip from scratch without having to switch between lots of different resources, books, and websites. In our trip planner, one will find transportation, schedules, accommodations, options, vehicle rentals, excursions, trekking guides, and much more. Users will be able to build an itinerary and plan it on the map, buy transport tickets, and book places to stay. The system will provide tips on the most popular attractions and local cultures, including details that cannot be found in standard guidebooks. To start building their dream trip, the user will simply need to pick a location and a type of service to see the best deals posted directly by service providers. For communication with travel business around the world, users can use two-way voice and text translation services. And then if you were to go to the specific section in the white paper, it's talking about how this technology, they're going to integrate two-way voice and text translation services, which is obviously huge when you're traveling. So, transportation. The Smart Trip platform will allow users to buy tickets for flights, buses, trains, and ferries, rent a car, or order a taxi. Since the directory will be built by local service providers and well-informed users who are registered on the platform and who will be rewarded with ratings points, travelers will get an opportunity to book local transport that is not normally known or available to tourists. Fast boats or river canoes around Brazil, for example. We are negotiating with local transportation providers in each destination to integrate their services into the platform. Besides, just like with accommodations, services of a leading provider of ticket booking services will be integrated into the platform for a user's convenience. So, for example, I thought this was all purple, but example, Jeep drivers on Madagascar. Many of Madagascar's greatest attractions, such as the legendary stone forest of Tingzi de Bemara, are accessible only with a four-wheel drive vehicle, and it can take days to get to. This is a real example of what they're trying to do. One can rent a 4x4 with the driver from a travel agency, which is very expensive. Alternatively, independent Jeep drivers in Madagascar have created a website where they publish their private ads. Users can contact them and book a vehicle through the site, paying a commission. The idea is good, but the issue is that most tourists never find that website. All those drivers would definitely appreciate the opportunity to advertise their services on Smart Trip platform. Accommodations. How is Smart Trip platform going to help with accommodations? This section will help users select the best accommodations in a chosen location, including hotels, hostels, an apartment, a room in a private house, a camping spot, or even book shared accommodations together with other travelers. Just like transportation, users will have access to accommodation options specific for certain destinations. Once again, the Smart Trip platform will establish a partnership with local tourist authorities and accommodation chains. All those properties that now are present on various specialized resources like Bookings.com, Hostelworld, Airbnb, CampingEurope.com, etc., will be brought together on a single platform for the first time. The Smart Trip platform will establish a partnership with one of the leading accommodation booking systems in order to provide users with even more hotel and hostel options. So I was going to get into this later, but obviously one of the biggest challenges they're going to face, and they might be able to do it, like I said, this is going to save a lot of people money and resources, but one of the biggest challenges they're going to face is making those partnerships with these places and accommodations and travel and stuff and bringing it all together. As an investor, you're going to have to decide, do I think these guys are going to be able to do it? In which case, maybe you could profit immensely. Real world example. Damn, man, you guys are really seeing how unworldly I am. I can't pronounce these names. Kyrgyzstan has a well-developed network of homestays, which give a unique opportunity to stay in an authentic Kyrgyz house and dine with the family for a very modest price. Hundreds of homestays across the country participate, providing a fantastic alternative to bland hotels. The problem is that there is no way to book such a homestay online. One has to call the central office of the Homestay Association and give them dates and the location, after which the association between homestay owners books the stay and provides the traveler with the address. It is a bulky, inefficient system. Certainly homestay owners would be delighted to get direct access to the global travel market via our services. So just like blockchain technology is going to bring us into a new paradigm of technology, one of the ways that this company, Smart Trip Platform, is trying to do that is they're saying, hey, this is going to really change the game when it comes to travel. Okay, and basically excursions, treks, expeditions, safaris, placing ads on the platform. So, a big part, the My Ads section of the platform will serve as the main tool for travel businesses to advertise their services or for private users to request or offer a paid service. The range of ads that can be offered by businesses and private account holders is extremely wide. So, transportation and food, accommodations, volunteer, private ads, looking for travel companions, travel with a guru, all that stuff. This is pretty interesting, and I think is necessary to say. All services will be based on smart contracts. When you hear smart contracts, that's blockchain technology. Once a user books a service, the necessary amount of money from their wallet is deposited. Once the service has been delivered, which is confirmed by the parties, the money, in trip cash, is automatically and instantly paid to the service provider. For more expensive services, for instance, maybe a mountaineering expedition, payment can be released in parts based on an agreement between the parties. All internal payments between users will be carried out using trip cash. The platform will earn a small commission on each transaction. Also, we should mention hot deals. One of the main sources of revenue for the Smart Trip platform will be constituted by payments of special limited time ads known as hot deals. Hey, we all like deals when we're traveling. That's why we like Expedia or something. They have Trip Chat, where you can have like a chat rooms with people. As I mentioned, a two-way voice and text translator, so you'll be able to rate everything for ultimate transparency. And if I were to continue reading this, because I'm basically going to stop reading the white paper right now. I think these are the 8, 9, or 10 pages I wanted to read. If we were to continue reading, they would go into more of the marketing and the strategy and the actual tech. They talk about target markets and their plan for customer acquisition. Obviously, as an investor, we want to hear how they're going to make these partnerships. What's their target market? How they're going to get the customer acquisition, and in which case go in the white paper and read it yourself. Basically also they talk about their plan for scalability. But where I want to go to right now, before we get off the white paper, is page 32, because this is something I think is really cool. Few crypto companies are trying to do this and nobody has done it yet. if you guys like 10x, or this is something people were looking forward to with Litecoin, I want to talk about Trip Cash debit cards. Look at this baby. I like this. The issue with Trip Cash debit cards will begin in the final stage of the project. Once the Trip platform is fully operational, smart Trip card holders will be able to use the cryptocurrency in their wallets to pay for goods and services wherever they are in the world, thanks to the instant conversion of the crypto funds in their wallets into local currency at the best available rate. Moreover, card holders will earn cash back rewards on all transactions. Such rewards will be debited to their universal crypto wallet in Trip Cash tokens. Okay, let's move off the white paper for a second. Why is the best moment now? Like why is this the time to invest in this technology? Global travel industry growth has been outstripping the world's GDP growth rate for a few years now, and they will continue to do so. Experts agree that digital technology will be the prime mover of this growth. The Smart Trip platform will provide a high-tech and secure solution to many issues of the travel market, such as the high fees, lack of direct contact between travelers and service providers, the language barrier, and the difficulty for small businesses to enter the market. We're almost done with this video, guys. Once again, this might take you hours and hours to research, which if you wanted to invest, I would recommend. But I'm trying to give you stuff that I really liked in this long form video. Do you guys like when I do long form videos like this? Let me know. I like to check out frequently asked questions pages when it comes to cryptocurrencies, because a lot of questions you have, if they're smart, they're going to answer them for you. So why do they need an ICO? Well, basically, the funds raised will allow finalizing and launching the platform in the shortest possible time, much faster than it would be possible using classic venture capitalist schemes. That's basically why they're doing an ICO. How does the Smart Trip platform use the blockchain technology? Well, the use of blockchain technology allows to implement decentralized data storage, set up smart contracts, ensuring that payments are carried out automatically once certain conditions are met, make the system as automated and decentralized as possible, reducing human involvement, reducing transaction costs and number of errors, dramatically increase the speed of transactions, especially cross-border transactions. Like we said, we don't want to use Western Union. We don't want our money tied up in banks, since the parties will no longer need to confirm payments manually. Provide an efficient means of payment for advertising, rewarding users with bonuses, and resolving conflicts. All this by means of smart contracts, blockchain. And then also, create universal cryptocurrency wallet, which will allow instant exchange between cryptocurrencies, as well as issue debit cards for external payment. Woo! So this is just, I tried to break out, like I said, 45-page white paper. I tried to kind of break it down on the stuff I found interesting. Tried to answer a lot of your questions. I want to thank, Crypto Mark for turning me on to this. And like I said, before we leave, if you guys want to stick around, we're going to actually try their demo right now, show you what it's going to look like. It actually looks pretty user-friendly. So you guys can do this too. I clicked on try the demo, and I want to see what a personal account looks like. So I'm going to use their personal account information right here. Ooh. All right. Log in. So this is what it's going to look like. Smart Trip platform. Just a demo. As you can see, you can find out about your trips, your offers, your chats, weather apps, exchange rate, translator, important tips, calendar events, discover, all this stuff. It says right now I'm in Egypt on their demo. Pretty interesting. So yeah, I mean, you just click all this stuff and see what it's going to look like. It actually looks pretty user-friendly. I just wanted to show you real quick that this is something you can do if you're interested in checking stuff out. I want to see about this translator right here. I guess it has nothing to translate, but anyway, guys, thank you very much. Hey, if you guys are still listening in this video, comment. I don't know, what do you guys want to comment in the bottom of this video? Comment Aaron, since that's my name. All right, later, guys. See you tomorrow.